Particularly, there was one clip where he said, "Get rid of all the black women and the black children," which, in my opinion, children usually implies black boys and black girls. Have you ever seen that clip?
No. What was the context of what he was talking about?
I would have to find it to actually bring it up. I haven't done
Yeah,
it
because
this.
if we're gonna, if you're going to, and I agree, if what he's saying he actually meant in that context of they should just be deleted, I mean he's wrong. But I think context matters. And again, I'm not defending what he was saying or not, because I don't know exactly what the context was. But what you just played, I'm interested to know what was wrong with what he said about his experience.
Nothing.
Okay,
His
cool.
experience was his own.
Okay. And is
His
he
experience was.
wrong for saying those things?
Yes.
I think the problem that's going to come out of it, RM, to be honest with you, is that it's it almost seemed like you're trying to paint a picture about about black women by using your experiences, right? See, I'll give you experience of mine. I had a black woman call CPS on me, and I talked about it publicly, right?
Mhm.
Exposed the young lady, et cetera, et cetera. However, she and her behavior doesn't reflect on all black women, and I understand that, right? And I think when you have influence and people are listening, people are going to say in the chat, "Well, yeah, all these black women are evil, all these black women are bad," but those actions are the ones that might have emailed his wife don't reflect the totality of black women. We can agree there.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point, you have to take responsibility of what you believe and what you're influenced to believe. Um, what he's saying definitely does not apply to all black women. But if you, for lack of better words, are ignorant to believe that or think that, then that's a you problem. It's not an Anton problem, or it's not an RM problem, because I personally have experienced what he's talking about, not to the degree that he was saying, but I've been shamed by people who look like me. But me saying that doesn't indict all black women. And if all black women think that, I truly believe that that's on them to think that about themselves. Because I don't see how anyone can be offended by something that doesn't apply to them. And I would hope that people don't. So, again, if somebody thinks that all black women act that way, they're ignorant. They don't know all black women. But at the same time, to shame somebody for their experiences, that's a whole nother other argument, in my opinion.
I agree. Does anybody have anything they want to add before I find the
I,
clip that I want to show RM and before we go back to the video that we're reviewing now?
I wanted to speak briefly, and I'm gonna be real short. I
Oh,
just think
hold on. My bad. Sorry. As soon as you said that, I actually came across the video that I was looking for.
mhm.
And I just want to show RM a little bit of it because I think it has pieces of what I need. But I'm almost 1,000% sure this is the video here.
Warning, this video will be very triggering.
Want to know what's really wrong with the black community is that the woman is out of her purpose and she's not a helpmeet no more. Yep. She's the enemy. She's more of an enemy than the white man ever has. Not a helpmeet no more. Yep. She's the enemy. She's more of an enemy than the white man ever has. She's more of an enemy than...
Before we keep going with Anton ranting, I want to ask RM, do you believe that black women are a bigger enemy than the white men have ever been? And I'll give you the full screen.
Are bigger enemies than the white man?
Yeah, let me make sure that you heard it correctly.
Sure.
Warning, this video will be very triggering.
Want to know what's really wrong with the black community is that the woman is out of her purpose and she's not a helpmeet no more. Yep. She's the enemy. She's more of an enemy than the white man ever has.
Do you agree with that statement?
No, I don't agree with that, but I also don't agree with context completely being missing from that. That was literally what, 4 seconds
Oh.
What was he talking about?
You're
Black
right.
women not being submissive.
Yeah,
Black men.
it was a
That's
conversation.
literally what it was about.
The conversation was about submissive and
Yeah.
about the Bible, and about apparently in the Bible it says that black women or just women in period are supposed to be helpmeets.
Nothing else.
So you are right. I should have played. I'm going to let it play. You're right.
Okay.
Triggering.
Want to know what's really wrong with the black community is that the woman is out of her purpose and she's not a helpmeet no more.
Yep.
She's the enemy. She's more of an enemy than the white man ever has. She's more of an enemy than anybody in history has ever been to the black community, because she's the very person that comes in with deceit and looks to use you and then disperse of you when she's done with you. And then she'll move on when it's all said and done, and then say, well, what about the kids? Fuck them kids and fuck that woman too. And then disperse of you when she's done with you. And then she'll move on when it's all said and done, and then say, well, what about the kids? Fuck them kids and fuck that woman too. Throw that with the bathwater. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Start the fuck over. Get a whole new group of women, and then fix the community that way.
Now I know.
Do you agree with that take, sir?
Again, it's contextual, right? I mean, if he's talking about black women as a monolith, then no. I have my aunts don't treat their men that way. Family friends don't treat their men that way. So as a monolith, no. And I think the problem is too many people, no matter what they look like, what race they are, what gender they are, they attach themselves to groups and therefore think that they identify in the same way. If you're offended by him talking about specific examples, then I think that you have a problem. But I think that he would have a problem, and he has a problem, if he believes that all black women operate that way. Again, people who are offended by something that just doesn't apply to them, it kind of boggles my mind. If you really think that, why would you think that? That's ridiculous to think that all black women operate that way. I mean, people must think that he is valid in saying that if they're offended by that. I don't understand that at all.
Do you agree with the part where he said, F those kids and throw them out with the bathwater?
What kids was he talking about? Was
Black
he talking about
children, baby mamas?
He was talking about baby mamas?
Yeah, black women children.
He was talking about black women's children.
Correct.
And what are you asking? If I think that black children should be thrown out with the bathwater?
To reach what it sounded like to me what Anton was trying to say when he came at the end. We said F those kids, throw out the women, and restart with a whole new race of women, a whole new group of women. Was that he was trying to say that this group of women are contaminated, and that our culture is trash, and that we have a group of baby mamas that still want to be labeled as wives, but they don't want to actually submit and be helpmeets. They actually want to be modern women. And because of that, in his opinion, we need to go back to, let's say, what Trump would say, make America great again, and go back to a more traditional standard of living.
And what do you define as a traditional standard of living?
Well, I think what he would define it as a nuclear family.
No. What do you define it as?
Yeah, but this premise isn't based off my premise. Like, this is based on his ideology. But a nuclear family, I don't really believe in a nuclear family. I think that I've seen families exist where two women are raising a child, and they are a family.
Okay. So if you believe that, and Anton thinks that isn't the nuclear family, what's the problem? How does that affect you?
I think the problem is when we hear black men talking about throwing black children out and discarding black children who are innocent in all of this.
Okay. So, but is he saying that he has a black child, right? So
Correct.
Do you believe that he's referring to his child, or is he referring to a rather small subset of women that use their children as leverage?
I believe due to the fact that his child was conceived in a marriage, that he believed that him and his child and his wife and himself are all exceptions.
Exceptions to what?
To being baby mamas, to being participants of what he believes is the downfall of black culture.
But he's not participating in what he believes is the downfall of black culture. You would have
Exactly.
to first sort of validate that premise to actually be offended by it.
No, I wouldn't, right? So let me tell you something. Have you heard of do you believe that only gay people judge gay relationships and talk about gay people and use gay slurs?
No, I don't.
Right. So we have plenty of examples where, and this example that I'm using currently, heterosexual people talk about gay people and gay relationships and what they can or cannot do without actual participating in that, which is why they're labeled homophobic. In this situation, what Anton is doing is talking about black people in a very degenerate way, but he himself doesn't even participate in that lifestyle itself. He himself can speak about the benefits of having a black wife, the benefits of growing up and having somebody that actually wants to work with you while you were poor until you were rich. Instead, you're doing the exact opposite and regurgitating Kevin Samuels' talking points, who was also, I might add, 2 times divorced.
So again, it's what you choose to believe, is what you choose to put energy in, right? So, you're people who get caught up on what somebody else says are the ones that keep that ideology alive. So if the less you pay attention to that rhetoric, the less power that rhetoric has to spread.
Let me ask you this then. If I was to agree with you, I like to apply logic, REM, and I apologize. I don't mean to disrespect you if you feel interrupted.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
Let's say if I was in 1940 Nazi Germany, should I just tell everybody, you know what? Let's not handle this. My friend RM, he said the best way to do this is just ignore it. Would that be the advice to give?
No, because actual lives are at danger at that point, right? That's totally different, right? You're talking about specific ideologies that caused immediate death. And I believe that the people that believe in the propaganda that a specific side was guilty of, I mean, in retrospect, they probably wish that they didn't agree with those sort of things. But I just find it interesting that you are equating what Anton said in terms of an actual epidemic, right? So the family court law is an epidemic, what's happening in our community, right? But that's being compared to Nazi Germany, right? So I think that's a form of sensationalism that, for one, isn't warranted, and two, it begs the question as to how dangerous do you think that him calling what some would say is degeneracy, how is that on par with Nazi Germany? Like, I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying in terms of like hypocrisy, but those two things are an order of magnitude different when it comes to rhetoric. And again, I would
respectfully disagree, RM, right? So let me just show you a few things.
Sure.
This right here is the Homeland Security Affairs. As you already know, our country is protected by Homeland Defense and Security. This is their website. Mapping the Manosphere, a social network analyst of the Manosphere and rhetoric. I mean, we can keep going. New York Times. FBI resumes flagging. Oh, can't even see that one, child. CNN. What I learned in the Manosphere. So there are a lot of different. Again, there's so many different stories about the FBI. Does the FBI investigate hate groups? This is considered a hate group, right? The Tate brothers, right? Famously known for the Manosphere, again, under federal investigation. So the FBI and the White House itself, right? Because specifically the one I wanted to show you was the Secret Service. The Secret Service is investigating the Manosphere itself. Why? Because of Black femicide. Do you know what that is, RM, before I continue?
No, I'm not certain. That's the first time I've ever heard of it. What is Black femicide?
I'm about to help you. I'm going to show you right now.